Today, the image we have of Cleopatra is that of a femme fatale seductress done in by her own ambition. This is largely due to the way she's been portrayed by Hollywood. But now, in a new book fittingly titled Cleopatra, writer Karen Essex presents a very different Egyptian queen, one who is a politically astute negotiator, a multilingual diplomat, and a stateswoman beloved by her country. Karen Essex, good morning.
Good morning, Anne.
You researched Cleopatra for nearly 10 years.
Yes.
And you discovered she wasn't even Egyptian?
No, that's the biggest surprise that most people have. She wasn't Egyptian at all, though she was Queen of Egypt. She was, in fact, Greek.
Macedonian Greek, which explains
Greek.
why you spell her name in this book with a K.
Yes.
She was also probably more smart than beautiful.
Well, she spoke 9 languages. I would say that's a sign of intelligence. And in her reign, she patronized arts and sciences. You know, I always tell people, if you think Madonna is impressive, you really need to learn about Cleopatra.
Because she was a real leader. I mean, here she comes from Macedonia. She is going to try to rule Egypt, and she's got to convince these people to accept her, Ptolemy, as a leader.
Well, her family had ruled Egypt for several hundred years, but Cleopatra was one of the only women in Egypt's 3,000-year history at that time, one of the only 2 or 3 women to ever rule alone without a male consort.
And she raised, what, an army? She raised...
The real Cleopatra raised armies. She built navies. She ruled the Kingdom of Egypt, which was a great bureaucracy. She orchestrated wars with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. And she was the mother of 4. She was the ultimate superwoman.
Working mom. I mean, really, how did, got too much. How does she do it all? But you know, if this is all true, Karen, what explains our misconceptions about Cleopatra? Why are we so deluded?
Well, the truth is, if you want to put it in our modern terms, Cleopatra was trashed by the media of her day, and she never quite recovered. Cleopatra was a victim of a smear campaign waged against her by the Romans, who were very, very threatened by her power. They put forth this image of her as the terrible foreign woman who seduced Mark Antony and Caesar. And when she died, she never recovered because the Romans rewrote history.
You write this book, it begins with her at age 3 watching her mother die.
Right.
And you carry it through to the age of 22.
Right.
And what happens during that time? Because what you're describing then is the shaping of this powerhouse.
I wanted to show the extraordinary events and circumstances that went into the making of this woman, because this is the story that people don't know about Cleopatra. You know, she's been treated as if she was born the moment she met Julius Caesar, which is just not true. She had a great story before he ever came into her life. She survived extraordinary sibling rivalries to get to the throne. Alexandria and her kingdom was a snake pit, and the Ptolemies had not had a lot of success. Well, they had not had a lot of success being accepted by the Egyptian people. But Cleopatra was the first Ptolemy in 200 and something years to even learn the Egyptian language. So she was able to make a direct link with the Egyptian people.
She was also one of the first to understand that an alliance with Rome was very important.
Right. And you have to remember, the Romans didn't partner easily. The Romans ruled by conquest and domination. And here was this woman who convinced both Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, the 2 most powerful men of their time, to not only align with her, but partner with her.
But also these were her lovers, right? I mean, is that not true? Is that based in fact that Julius Caesar was Cleopatra's lover?
Absolutely.
And do we have a sense that she was a lover to Julius Caesar and Mark Antony to create this kind of alliance? So why is she not then the seductress?
Because Cleopatra was the queen of a very rich and powerful and strategically located nation. So these men aligned with her because, frankly, they needed her. They had all of these plans to conquer the Parthian kingdom to the east of Egypt. And Cleopatra had the same plan. She wanted in on that plan. And so an alliance between them was actually quite natural.
So to call her a seductress, you'd have to call them seducers as well.
Absolutely.
This book is being made into a movie.
Yes.
I can hear from your voice. You're very thrilled about that.
Yes, I am.
Not only because it means you've sold the movie rights to a book, but because you're now going to have this chance to rewrite the image we've gotten from Hollywood about this one.
Yes. I've been on a mission to reimagine Cleopatra. I believe that the real Cleopatra is who women dream we can be. And I think we deserve a role model like that. It just angered me that this formidable woman became known only for her sexuality.
All right, Karen Essex, thank you. On that note, we leave it. A good place to leave it.
Thank you.
The novel is called Cleopatra. We're back in a moment. But first, this is Today on NBC.